I have a question for you.
Go
Um,
ahead.
so I know that like me personally, I'm super interested in like the counseling and as well homeopathy, and I know you do both.
Hmm.
And was actually listening to another interview with Dr. Paul. I don't know how to
First
say it.
cue?
It's Paul
Oh,
Therolot.
Paul Terrio. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Hmm.
And I really look up to him as a homeopath. And he was actually doing an interview, and he mentioned that if you really want to get good at taking somebody's case, actually read your book and do your course.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you, Paul.
Yeah,
Thanks, Dr.
yeah, it
Paul.
was
Yeah.
super cool. So I know a lot of my classmates that are also interested in
Hmm.
homeopathy and counseling would love to hear like how has this helped you in taking a homeopathic case and how do they
Great.
relate to each
Oh,
other?
beautiful question. I'm very passionate as well about homeopathy. I adore homeopathy. Homeopathy flows through my veins. Okay, so basically, let's say you have a case and they present a bunch of symptoms. So fine, you're going to plug in a bunch of symptoms, but you may come up with a few remedies. You're not really sure which direction to go. When you get really deep to someone, you get to like the basement of their consciousness, where you see the very essence of their suffering, then you have a much greater tool with which to select your remedy, because you have the quality of the pain, the cause of the suffering. You understand it much better.
Yeah.
In one of my cases, I had a woman who was very afraid of going to California for her son's wedding because she was afraid of earthquakes.
Mm.
So if you look at a fear of earthquakes, I mean, sure, there's a few remedies listed there, but none of those were her remedy. You could look at fear of calamities, fear of death, but by exploring deeper, we got to the root cause of what she's really worried about. So I said, well, what if you die? Well, then basically I'm skipping ahead, but she said, well, if I die, then I'll be gone. And what if you're gone? Well, then it's like I disappear. And then she started bawling, weeping, because her pain, her deepest wound is that she's invisible, that nobody cares about her. So her fear is not of an earthquake, it's of her fear that she carries anyway. And the remedy actually prescribed for her was sepia. And it was completely, I mean, she didn't even think twice about the fear when she went. And the combination works really well together, homeopathy with the counseling, because you start moving those big wheels of consciousness. And if there's an old stuckness to it, the homeopathy facilitates that at the same time. Yeah.
Yeah. Such an awesome pair. Like they almost have to go together.
Yeah.
Because even with homeopathy, if you just give somebody a remedy and expect them to do all that work alone, because there's a lot of work that goes into finding your remedy and then having to then like work through all of this stuff that comes up for you and heal yourself, and your body's doing a lot of that, but having a support system during that time is
It's
so
huge.
key emotionally.
It's
So
so
that's
key.
super cool.
And sometimes the holistic counseling supports the homeopathy. Sometimes the homeopathy supports the holistic counseling. And sometimes what my number one thing to do now is when I have a case which is really resolved, where a person comes in with suffering, pain, disease, and then through the dialogue they have this great aha, and you see a shift and their energy opens and their symptoms improve right before your eyes. I
Wow.
don't give any remedy at that point. I just wait and see how they do, because
Mhm.
it's a very subtle thing, but the highest medicine is that will inside of the person. And homeopathy is a wonderful, beautiful second to that. But if I can help a person heal fully just through consciousness, then I don't mess with that. Because I have seen where I have a great dialogue with a person and they feel liberated, and then I say, oh yeah, okay, and by the way, here's your remedy. Then they go and they fixate on the remedy, and that kind of goes out the window,
Mm.
because people aren't used to really being empowered with the ability to heal themselves with nothing but their consciousness.
Wow, that's so cool.
Yeah,
Thank
cool.
you.
You're welcome. Thank you.